What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Capital J, and unfortunately, no, this is not a Capital Convo special. This is something even better. I am here with one of the most amazing artists in the city that I think, and we're just going to talk about everything he has going because he's been through a lot, he's going through a lot, and he's definitely building a lot. So I just want you guys to know who he is, and we're going to get started. How you doing?
I'm doing very good, very good. It's good to be here today.
Good. So I just want to ask you, I was even going to say your name yourself, but say your name myself, but I would rather you introduce yourself so everybody will know, what you prefer to be called and who you are.
Well, I'm first and foremost, I'm JermarDerun. I go by JermarDerun. My website is www.JermarDerun.com. We also, I'm more along the lines of a visual artist, and I try to step outside of that box. Try to keep myself from being boxed in. It's called that, but I can relate more to that.
Definitely. So what is your earliest creative memory? I know you've probably been an artist for years at this point, and you've created many things, and I'm pretty sure we've all had to get to the place where we start somewhere.
Right, correct.
What is the earliest thing that you've ever created that you can actually remember?
I mean, just tapping in and going all the way back to 7th grade. We used to draw the Gokus and the Dragon Ball Z characters and everything. I used to actually, it's crazy that you asked that. I used to go to the library and take those books that they had in the library.
With the sketches in them, definitely.
Right. I used to take those books, and I actually used to take them home and never bring them back. So I still have some.
I feel like we've all done a little bit of that.
Right.
So with your brand, it is JermarDerun.com.
Correct.
Art by JermarDerun on Instagram?
That is correct. Art by JermarDerun.
Okay, so
Art of JermarDerun.
Art of Derun. So tell us a little bit about, from different interviews and things that I've watched, your art is very life-size. It stands out. It's very vivid and colorful. What kind of things do you incorporate into your work as you're creating some of these pictures that you have?
Mostly just wanting to make it pop as much as I want to. I think all of my art relates to who I am as a person.
Right.
So my main focus with art is to actually be able to relate to people through my art and for them to understand who I am through my art as well.
Definitely.
I have an ongoing quote that goes, to know me is to be able to relate to my art. So I think it's just a direct representation of who I am as a person. That's just what it's about, really.
That definitely makes sense. So as far as your art directly representing you, what do you think, in some of the things you create, what do you think is some of the ways that your art definitely stands out from the rest of different artists out here that are creating different things? Like I said, it's really life-size, very vivid, very colorful, and if that's a reflection of you, what characteristics do you carry that kind of vibe with these same things that you put out on these canvases?
Well, it's got a lot more to do with, the size is to be able to stand out and fit in. All my life I've kind of been, a different kind of character per se. I was raised partially in Memphis, partially in Germany. So I've always stood out. I've always dressed different. I've always talked different. I've always moved different in all totality. So I think that was the main thing, and that's the same thing that that coincides with art. That all goes together. It's just everything that I try to put, even with the King Tut piece. It's huge. It's
and I was gonna say that was one of the ones that really stood out to me.
Right. And I think it was very, very, very important to me to put gold teeth on it. It just shows, that I wanted to mesh past with, more so along just present day, the things that we deal with in the urban hip hop field.
Definitely.
And just speaking on that, it's just what I wanted to do and what I wanted people to see when they see my work.
Okay, that makes sense. And I did watch a few of your interviews from a while back. You said you were a little army rat, so you have some traveling.
Yes,
so
yes, ma'am.
What different places have you stayed in?
I've lived in mostly Germany. I lived in Germany.
How was that? Because I've never first of all, I've never met a black person from Germany. So
really?
Nice to meet you. I was gonna say.
It's a lot.
I'd probably be surprised.
Right, you would. There's a lot of people that I've known since I've lived in Germany. Since we've grown together, came over to the States. We only came because it would have been a huge culture shock had we had moved later on in life.
Definitely.
So that's just, but Germany was great. I think that was the main place that I stayed. But as far as, my dad been in the military, we moved all over Germany. So there were different bases. I think every year or two or so, we always were.
Just relocating.
We found ourselves, just going to different bases and everything.
And was there anything that came from, you staying at these different places and different interactions that kind of inspired your art?
Not necessarily. When it comes to, I think my childhood was very colorful because I was able to, travel a lot. I was able to see a lot of different things. France, Holland, Switzerland, a lot of those different places. I was able to see a lot more than the average,
And a lot of those places definitely have their own stamp in the art world as well.
Correct. And there's a lot of art, and that may have been where it came from, but subconsciously. But as far as just getting out there and doing it, I've only been doing it for about, just on a constant basis for about 3.5 years.
Okay,
4 years.
But that's a good grind. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's actually awesome. So I want to get into that grind. You've been doing it for about 3 or 4 years, you say? What made you want to take the road to even be an artist? What made you want to put your paintings on a canvas to be your career?
That's a good question. I think when it came to just being able to, to do art and get into it full-fledged, it was more along the lines of just trying to find mental peace. I was young. I was, doing a lot of things with my time, like going out, working, 50, 60 hours a week. And I just felt like I'm working a lot for someone else, but I'm not putting a lot of time into myself. And that was just the main thing that I wanted to get across as well.
Okay, and before you stepped out or stood out from that mode of not necessarily wanting to work for somebody else and build their dream, because I've definitely been there, and that's really why I'm right here with you. So I definitely love that idea of motivation. What is it about working for yourself that pushes you to just go harder, to be like, you know what, I don't have to get up every day. I don't have to go buy this canvas. I don't have to, market myself, create all these pages. What is pushing you to keep doing that?
It's really just the fact that I'm setting the tone. I'm setting the tone for people after me.
Definitely.
I'm very accessible. Social media, you're able to see me. I think like my main mission, honestly, with art is not to be the best artist. It's to be able to have others understand that I don't have to have a talent that's, cliche, God gifted. It doesn't have to be something I feel like, I was born with. You're able to pick up anything, whether it's a camera, whether it's, music, whether it's, a pencil or a paintbrush.
Definitely.
If you just go in on it, like I said, just love it when it doesn't love you back. You're going to be great at it.
I admire that. Love it when it doesn't love you back.
That is correct.
Seriously, because that's how the grind is just in the art industry.
Correct.
Like, you're not always going to get that yes you want. You're more than likely going to get that no first.
Right.
So that really just kind of sets the perseverance of, are you going to continue, or are you just going to let that be what it is? And you brought up to me that you actually went through something that could have been your no a few months ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was last Christmas. Last Thanksgiving, not this previous one.
Oh, okay, last year.
But the one last year. And so I had a car, and I was basically actually in the garage painting. I went upstairs to get some water, come back downstairs. My car was actually parked outside of the garage, and all of the work, well, most of it, all of the work is damaged, but most of the work that I had caught fire. The remainder of it was damaged by water, by the fire, firefighters. Right. They came in and all my work is destroyed. So
what happened? Like, do you know what happened? Was it the car or exhaustion, heat, anything?
It's just, well, from what he told me, it was a fuse caught box, and it just really, it puts me in a place when I think about it, but it's also fuel for me.
Definitely.
It's just a fuse box caught fire, and that one little simple spark lit my car on fire, lit my car in flames, and
Well, first of all, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you weren't in the garage or in the car.
Exactly.
Because that's most important. But definitely, I kind of want to get into, because I know a lot of artists these days we go through so much where it's like we don't know how to continue when things like that happen. Right. I've seen artists that, you know, have lost deals, have lost money, have had it all and went broke, not had a great start, have dealt with bad management, you know, all of these things, and either they find a way out of it or they necessarily don't. And of course, you definitely found your way out of it, which is why we're even sitting here today speaking on future art that you already have. What was your initial thoughts in that situation? And if you don't mind me asking, how did you turn that around to be like, you know what, I'm not going to let this faze me? Because I know, I mean, we've all been there. It definitely hurts looking at it like, what the fuck just happened? No, seriously. Seriously. So what is going on right now? But what can you take us kind of through that thought process of you being in this hole and then just helping yourself out of it mentally until you're ready to be like, you know what, it's time to pick up these art, you know, these paintbrushes again. I got to get this back rolling. Like, I know I lost something, but what I'm gaining is so much better than what I'm losing.
I still have my life. And that's the most important.
Exactly.
First and foremost. Secondly, I still have my ability. Those two things, you know, I can't be taken away from me by something that happened, and I'm still standing. So, and what I mean by that is that, yeah, I lost all of my prior work, but every day I'm working to get better.
Definitely.
And I'm still alive. So as long as I'm alive, I'm just gonna keep on grinding. I'm gonna keep on working, and you know, like I said, I'm just gonna love it when it loves me back. I've been through. That wasn't the only emotion that I've been through, you know, dealing with artistry.
Right.
You know, so I've seen a lot. I've seen so many people, like you say, just, you know, get distracted by other things. You know, for the people who've gotten off track and wasn't able to get back on.
Right.
There's also been some people who went through those things and they used it as fuel, in order for them to be elevated and uplifted, and also come back and set that example for people like me to be able to use that and just say, okay, well, if this gentleman can go through this, or this young lady can go through this and grind it out and tough it out,
definitely.
A house fire can't stop.
It cannot
stop.
Hey,
the grind.
I'm proud of you, like, for real. That's major.
Thank you.
And he's talking about, you know, just a house fire, you guys. Like, just think, if you lost your home, you lost everything that you were working on or working for in that moment.
Right.
But to hear you say that, you know, as long as I'm still breathing and I'm still here, it hasn't stopped me doing anything, I really commend you for that.
Thank you. I just come from a family. I come from a family who, you know, we've been through a lot. We've gone through a lot of emotions.
And seeing as how you guys were Army based,
true enough.
Did you have that supportive foundation that you needed to let you know that anything was possible?
Well, yeah. Well, it's just through speaking. I mean, you know, talking to my dad, talking to my mom, talking to my brothers. You know, they give me my life. They give me life. I mean, they give me the power that I need, and the tools that I need, and the support that I need in order to keep on moving forward.
Definitely.
As long as I have that, I can't stop. I won't be stopped.
Okay. I really like.
Right.
Man, you're taking words out of my mouth right now. Because this story, first of all, it's amazing. So I'm just like, it's crazy. You make me want to go harder. Just go home and find something else to do.
You have to, because we take so much for granted.
Definitely.
You know, we go to work, we work 50, 60 hours a week with overtime included. We do all of these things, you know, for other people that, like you said, just to uplift everybody's dream. But when it comes back to when you get home and you're about to get ready to start the next day to go back and live somebody else's dream out, who are you after 5-6 years of doing that? You don't know, you know, and that's the main thing. You have to be able to find yourself. There's so many hidden talents in cemeteries and in people who just actually are robotic of, you know, in the fact that they go to work and come home.
And that constant
right, you just lose yourself. And I just think that, you know, I have to give myself time to realize, you know, there's other things that I can be doing, and there's other things that I'm able to, you know, help or set the tone for somebody else to do.
Okay, definitely. And honestly, I know we do have to wrap it up. I wish I could sit here and literally talk to you all day. So I got about 2 more questions.
Okay.
The first one would be for the artists that are out there struggling, building their own brand, trying to, or even get out of holes that they have been in, just like yourself. What advice would you give to them to continue and just be like, you know, as long as you're breathing and you're still here, you can keep going?
You really just have to just do just that. There's no advice for, and there's no necessarily genuine words that I can put together to motivate somebody to do something. As long as you're able to look at it and say, okay, I can get up and I can do this, that's all that matters. It's everything else is within you. I can't take it out you. It's got to be in you, not on you.
I appreciate it. As transparent as that.
Right.
That's all y'all need. Like, for And last but not least, what is in store for you next? Because, like I said, your story is absolutely inspirational. You're definitely building from the ground up once again, and I know that you have come so far from what happened last year. So what can we definitely look forward through your brand? 2020, 2019 is finna end. What's going on in this new year?
More art, more of me stepping outside of my boundaries.
Possible art show?
Possible art show.
Okay.
Also, speaking of which, I would like to give a huge shout out to Art Overdose, Dallas, Texas, and Sean Schuler.
Okay, I know Art Overdose for sure.
Art Overdose was the second show that I've ever done.
That's amazing.
And it topped every expectation that I could never imagine, fathom to imagine. I actually brought out a Game Boy piece, which you're able to play games.
I seen that. I was excited. I'm sorry.
It's right. But you're going to see a lot more of that art from me. You're going to see a lot more of me just getting into trying to tap into electronics, trying to think outside the box. I don't want to be boxed in. I always want to, every day I wake up, I try to be better, get better, and get better at what I do. So you're going to see a lot more of me just trying to try different things. And some things, may happen. Something may blow up. You never know, but at the same time, when the fire and the dust settle, I'll be right back at it again.
Hey man, the grind never stops.
It never stops.
I really appreciate talking to you today, and please let everybody know once again where they can find you if they want to buy a canvas or art. Do you do commission pieces?
I do commission pieces.
Okay.
I will probably slow down a little bit on them in 2020 because I want to focus more on getting laying my personal thoughts out onto canvas. But you can definitely find me at Art of JermarDerun. That's ArtofJermarDerun. That's my Instagram handle. Also, you'll see a lot of my pieces on www.JermarDerun.com. So that's JermarDerun.com.
Y'all be sure to click that link, seriously.
For sure. And thank you for coming on out.
No problem, you guys. I'm Capital J. I am trying to get these interviews running, but I really enjoyed sitting here with you today.
Likewise.
We're at Tacos and Patron. I don't even know if y'all been here, but this place is in Addison, and it's super dope, and it smells so good in here. So I'm ready to eat. Good food.
Best food in the city. Tacos Patron in Addison. Come out here to see it. The owner's name is Sebastian. Great guy. Very good guy. Good food, good drinks, and just good quality of atmosphere also.
Definitely.
Come check out Tacos and Patron.
Already. As you guys know, I'm Capital J, and this is JermarDerun, and this is the end of this beautiful segment. Y'all be sure to follow this guy and check out everything that he's creating this year. JermarDerun.